Are you struggling to manifest what you want or have been trying to manifest something for years and it's still not happening? Well, join my 21-day manifestation challenge, which starts in January. You will be part of the manifest movement. Don't have FOMO, fear of manifesting out. Join the challenge at pausepenny.com. What's up, manifestors? We are acting as if. Yes, we are. If you are doing everything, you have been listening to me, you're listening to my podcast, you're meditating. If you meditate, I don't meditate, but meditating, practice gratitude, saying your affirmations, going to bed at night and you're visualizing. You're doing every single thing I say. You're doing fact at night. You're doing game changer in the morning. You are calling people a vibe. I'm a vibe. You're a vibe. You are positive, or so you think you are anyway. And it is still not happening for you. We are going to talk about some blockers. Blockers number one, and acting as if. So, blockers, timeline. Get off your timeline. It is not going to happen exactly on your timeline. It is going to happen when you are in alignment with it, when you are on the vibrational frequency of it, when it is your time. That doesn't mean that you are going to sit on your ass and do nothing. We know step 6 is taking action, right? However, I want to meet somebody by Christmas. I want to have a baby by January. I want to have a house by February, March. Yes, you can have an idea that in 2026, I would like to meet somebody. I'd like to have a baby, or I'd like to have a house. But do not be so specific, because that timeline will come around, and what will happen? You'll start to get nervous and anxious. It still hasn't happened. It still hasn't happened. I still haven't met somebody, and it's June. I'm halfway through the year. I still haven't gotten pregnant. Let go of your timeline. If you're listening to me now and you're like, but I really want, but, get off the butt. Get off the butt train. Get off it, right? Because you are only holding yourself back, right? So, the second thing, how? How is not your problem. It's not your problem. Stop trying to figure out how it's going to come. Oh, I'm going to win money. Maybe. You might be a lucky one and win some money, win the lotto. Maybe. But you don't know that. Do not dictate how it's going to happen. I'm not going to meet somebody on an app. How do you know? How do you know? You do not know this. Do not try and figure out the how. I recently had a girl who was trying for a baby for 4 years, and she joined. She has been following me, I think she said, since I've had like 1,300 followers. So like pretty much the last 2-3 years. I started in late 2022 and now it's 2025. So she did my challenges, doing everything, absolutely everything. In fact, on the manifestation challenge, when we buy ourselves a card, she bought herself a card that said, because she wanted a baby, you are going to be the best parents ever. And I remember when she shared the card in the group, because I thought, oh, I love that card. Because usually cards about babies are like, congrats on your baby boy, congrats on your girl, it's twins. But this was like for both herself and her partner, right? And when she had her baby shower, she had a baby shower with a group of her friends, and they all pitched in for one big gift for her. And when she came home, she was showing her husband or partner the cards, and she was like, look at this. And he's like, that card looks very, very familiar. He was like, I've seen that card before. And she's like, oh my God, I think that's the card that I bought for myself on the manifestation challenge. She went upstairs. It was the exact same card. But the point of the story is this. When she was trying for a baby, she was saying to me, I've been trying for 4 years. I assumed that she had been trying via IVF because, like, typically I think the medical advice, and don't take any medical advice from me, but I think it is if you're trying for a year and nothing's happening, maybe then it's time to think about, is there more going on? Maybe you do need the IVF route, maybe you don't, whatever. Okay. So I had just assumed she was doing IVF, but she had said something to me that implied that she wasn't. And I said to her, have you thought about going down the IVF route? And she's like, yeah, I just don't know. I just want it to happen naturally. And this is how I want it to happen. I said, let go of your how. What do you want? You want a baby in your arms. Does it matter how it happens? When I was trying for a baby, and it's very easy for me to say this now because I have 4 kids, they're all with my husband, they're all my eggs. It's very easy for me to say, but I remember saying, I don't care how this happens. I did say, God, if there's anything wrong with anybody, please let it be me, because I think I could take a donor egg. I could take a surrogate, right? Is that easy? Is that an easy option? No, but I knew I would be able for that. Whereas I just think it might have been a bit harder for my husband for it to be not to be his sperm, say, for example. But I knew for me, I would get through that and I would be okay. I did not care how the baby was going to come. I didn't care. The end result was a baby. So let go of your house. So I told her, let go of your house. So she made an appointment with the IVF clinic. And before her appointment came the following week, she was pregnant naturally. And I told her she had surrendered the how. Surrender the how. Let go of your timeline. There is no timeline. There is no when in my 7 steps. What do you want? Why do you want it? What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? What action are you going to take? What are you grateful for? There is no when. There is no how, right? When and how are not in the box for a reason. You are blocking your own manifestation. And finally, let go of the fear and doubt and trust. I know that can be challenging. I know. But the more fear and the more doubt that you have, you are blocking it. Release the fear and doubt and act as if you already have it. Because if you start to act as the person that has it, you are showing up as the person who is in love, that has the baby, that is abundant, that's prosperous, that's wealthy. The universe can only give it to you, but you have to act as if. I put out this reel that had an Oscar, a little Oscar award, and an American at a plane that said California on it. I picked it up in the airport when I was in LA a couple of years ago because I was like, someday I'm going to be flying to LA to do a talk, right? And we just booked tickets to the World Cup and we are flying into LA next year. And I said to my husband in a WhatsApp message, I was like, I'm so excited for my talk in LA next year. He's like, we're going to the World Cup. And I was like, you're going to the World Cup. In my mind, I am going to LA to give a huge talk and we're going to have a family vacation after it, right? So when I get on that plane next year going to LA, I am going to be pretending I am flying over for an event. We are not going on business class, but I'm going to walk up. I'm going to pretend I'm turning left on business class. I am going to act as if I am going to start preparing for that talk in LA. I am going to think about my outfit that I am wearing. When I walk down the street and people look at me, I'm going to think, yeah, I'm that girl, that manifestation girl. Yeah, that's who I am. I'm going to think people know me as the manifestation movement gal. That is how I'm going to show up. If you look at me, I am going to be thinking that you are thinking, is that the girl from the manifest movement? You're not going to be thinking that, but I don't care. That is what's going to be going on in my head. I am going to be acting as if it has already happened. And you might call it delusional, and I don't give a shit, right? Because when you act as if, you lift your vibrational frequency, you become a magnet. You become a magnet for your desires. The universe can only give it to you. right? And when you start acting as if, and I mean truly acting as if you already have what you want, you let go of the timeline because you got it. You're acting as if you already have it. You let go of the how. You let go of the when. You let go of the fear. So if you can truly act as if, then it will show up for you, right? So how do you act abundant? I was in BT's recently looking at the Louis Vuitton bag. I said to the girl, "How much is this?" 2,950. I was like, "Bargain." I'm not buying that Louis Vuitton bag. I told her, "You can make up stories, right? Like just make up stories if you're embarrassed. Be like, "Yeah, I'm not so sure." Just be like, "Oh yeah." And even if you don't have a soulmate, my husband's going to come back and pay for this, buy this for me for Christmas, just to get yourself out of the situation. But I try on the bags. I try on the clothes. I try on the sunglasses and I think, I'll be back for these. That is how I act abundant. That is how I act abundant. If you want to meet a soulmate, start planning your dates. Go to 2026. Put in 3 months, Friday nights, date night. Put them all in your calendar. Plan a date every week in your mind. Plan the date. Where are you going? What are you doing? What are you wearing? What are you buying this person for Christmas? What do you like to do for fun, right? Act as if. Walk around the place saying to yourself, if anybody says, "How are you?" You say in your head, "I'm in love," or "I'm pregnant," or "I am successful," or "I am an author," "I am a global podcast host." You can say those things in your head. It is all about becoming, because the universe will align with you when you have positive thoughts, positive actions, but it's the feeling of having, of knowing, that is going to be the force behind which gets you what you want. You really have to become that person that knows this is happening for me. Like me, I'm totally delusional, right? I am totally delusional about writing books, being on stages, getting into corporates, making more money than I do as a lawyer. Totally delusional. But I know it is possible, because what I know for sure is this: anything is possible. Anything is possible when you believe and you show up. You keep showing up as someone who's not worthy. You keep showing up as someone who thinks, "Oh, my life can't get any better. It's so hard for me." You keep on showing up as someone with no self-love. You're just going to get more and more and more of that back into your life. Start acting as if as the person who has what they want. If I told you today, you just went sale agreed on a house, you just met your soulmate, you are now pregnant or you have a baby in your arms, you just secured your dream job, your bank account has grown by 4 or 5 zeros after it, how would you feel? How would you act? How would you speak? What thoughts would be in your mind? What does that person look like? Write it down on a piece of paper. Who are you calling to tell? What does your voice sound like? What are you doing? Become that person consistently. Become that person consistently. And I know it's not always easy. You have these thoughts, these limiting beliefs, you have trauma, but at some point, you got to do the work. You've got to work on yourself. So start taking the little steps to act as if. And you will become the magnet. You will become a magnet. I have a girl who's trying for a baby. She has a baby, but she's trying for a second one. And every week, she's like, "Oh, I'm on this timeline. I'm on that. I'm telling her it's going to happen. You are trying to control the situation. You need to act as if. If you already had a baby, or if you were having a baby, what would you be doing? You would be looking at buggies online or prams. You would be looking at baby clothes. You would be thinking of names. You would be writing a list of all the things you need. You would be looking at soothers and baby bottles. You would be thinking about sleep routines. You'd be thinking about where the baby is going to sleep. All of these little things. You would think about what hospital you're going to, what doctor you're going to. Plan it all out, right? Act as if you are the person that already has what you want, and you will become a magnet. Do it for 30 days. Do it for 30 days and just see how your mind, your mood shifts, and watch what happens. The universe will send you people, opportunities, things will just start to show up in your life. And these are not coincidences. These are directly linked to your vibrational frequency. Directly linked. And if you're saying, oh, but Yvonne, it's so hard for me. Oh, Yvonne, cut it out. Cut that shit out, right? Just cut it out, because you can spend the rest of your days feeling sorry for yourself, saying life is so hard for you. Everything is so hard for you. Nothing ever works out for you. And for the rest of your days, you're going to continue to say that until it's the end and it's over. And you've spent your whole life in this misery. And all you needed to do was change your thoughts one step at a time. Change your thoughts, change your life. You choose. It is your choice. They are your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs. You make the decision. What you are not changing, you are choosing. You choose your thoughts. So, change your thoughts, change your life. What you're not changing, you're choosing. So if I were you, choose to sign up to the Manifestation Challenge. It starts in January and we already have the WhatsApp group open. And I have to say, it is a good group. People are really engaged in there. We're talking a lot. If you're manifesting, we've subgroups: soulmate, baby, dream job, dream house, health and fitness, business expansion. Abundance is a huge one, very active in that section. We do Super Soul Sundays. We write a grateful. We're currently doing an abundance challenge for December, but January is my manifest challenge. So sign up. See ya.